forgot they were voting over here. I already voted. And by the way, no matter which extreme you are, because you're extremist, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't vote. And I mean, I don't care. I'm not one of those people, oh, you got to vote. I encourage you to, but I don't really give no fucks what you do, because society has shown itself to me time and time again over the course of decades. So I'm not one of the people that's going to act shocked and amazed that people are who they are. America is what it is. You know, I'm not shocked or amazed, but I will say that yes, I do box you up in the extremist category. Whether you are cooning for racists, I actually, one of my, y'all don't have a ton of sisters, one of my sisters literally told me, we had a conversation around the 2012 election, you know, President Obama's second term, and she was voting Republican because she had been coerced into the idea that, well, Democrats have had a chance, you know, and what has Obama done? So, you know, why not? You know, try something new, try something different. The Republicans an opportunity to see what they do. That was her thing. Are you gonna go or? So she was voting Republican for Obama's second term, after he spent the first 4 years flipping the fuckery that Republicans have done and been doing for decades. And that's another thing. Democrats have had a chance to, let's see what the Republicans can do. What, bitch? What? How many Republicans versus how many Democrats have we had for president? Girl, bye. And how about be vaguely conscious of the differences in the accomplishments of one versus the other? But again, like I said, I'm not here to be surprised or amazed that people are who they are and are vulnerable, susceptible to whatever they're susceptible to. So whether you're cooning for conservatives, you know, in terms of not voting, whether you're cooning for conservatives, or whether you're that pseudo hotep Negro who is also technically cooning for conservatives, because the results of your efforts are, the results of your efforts will accomplish exactly what conservatives want accomplished. So congratulations on that. You just as cooning. You know, I've told y'all on more than one occasion, conscious folks be, you know, woke folks be the ones snoring the loudest sometimes. Also, when I vote, I'm conscious to vote locally as well. A lot of people are politically ignorant, self-included, on some issues. So the reality is, you have the two major parties. And Trump has very accurately represented a particular party. So if that's how you feeling, then vote for him. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Or don't vote at all, because that's still a vote for him. And I guess that's the whole message of this random ass rant, is that if you don't or didn't vote, you voted for Trump. I said that. Blame it on me.
All the progress we've made is at stake in this election. Tolerance is on the ballot. Ending mass incarceration, that's on the ballot right now. And after we have achieved historic turnout in 2008 and 2012, especially in the African American community, I will consider it a personal insult if this community fails to activate itself in this election. You want to give me a good send-off? Go vote!
You know, if you so,
especially in the African American community, I will consider it a personal insult if this community fails to activate itself in this election. You want to give me a good send-off? Go vote!
I'll finish yelling at y'all after I get my grill jet. Holler at you in a minute. So what I was saying was, if you don't vote at all, from my perspective, you are literally voting for Trump. Can't remember where I ended off at, but that was my general point. And for the pseudo-hotep Negroes, okay, the extra blacks, because y'all extra, your theory, your logic is that neither candidate is for you. And let's just say that's true, because for the most part it is. Well, not for the most part, but ultimately it's true. I won't say for the most part, because even accidental racists, because that's a real thing, shout out to Brad and LL, even accidental racists are still racist. So ultimately what they're going to do is not going to be for you, even if they themselves actually believe they are trying to help black people. So there's that. But in essence, it is choosing the lesser of two evils. And you really do have to do that, because whatever your opinion is, okay, because I know a lot of pseudo-hotepers are also anti-government. You guys are working cohesively with racist extremists. Again, whether you realize it or not, cohesively. Because you're anti-government, and therefore, in being so, you don't want to vote for anybody, because everybody's fuckery, and they are, as are you. And the problem with that is, you even had a problem with President Obama, and he's the best human being, Democrat or Republican, in general, that most of you have ever even known in your lives, because you're not the type of human being that can attract people like that. So skip out all that opinion on my part, but skip all that, and let's just say, okay, you didn't want to vote for Obama because you think he's cooning. You think he's doing what you're actually doing. In this case, same instance, except in this case, there's no such human being like Obama again that will ever be running and or selected for president anytime soon, clearly, because of the way you guys are parenting and passing on your bullshit, black and white alike. So I often want to ask the anti-government people, okay, who's your person? Who's your candidate? Okay, they shouldn't be president. Who should? Name one person who should be president instead. I'll wait. Because when you get through with your ignorant bullshit, this is America, and we are governed. Like there's a government. What kind of, if there were no government, what kind of chaos do you think would erupt amongst a bunch of sociopaths who are raising sociopaths and passing said torch of pathology? Somebody's going to be president. And you know, bigots are the loudest of the loud. So they show up to represent. So if within your indifference, you choose not to vote because you don't agree with either candidate, you just voted for Trump, because they're going to show up. They're going to show up. They lost presidency, not power, because they still run the country, but they lost presidency once. Well, twice if it includes the second term. They're not going to want to lose it ever again, no matter how horribly a job they do managing the country, no matter how immoral or murderous, no matter. So again, don't vote if you don't want to. It doesn't move me either way, and nor does it surprise me. And I really feel the same way. You know, I don't want to vote for either, or. But I know I live in America where there's a president every 4 years that is selected by the country. And I also know that if the people that figure neither one of the candidates is good enough, that the people who support the psychopath of choices for presidents are going to be able to vote that person into power, for bigotry to be continued, as it has been for centuries. But I'd like to know which of you don't vote. The same way I like to know who the races are around me in my life. Excuse me, who the races are. When I have to go out in public and interact with people, I like to know which ones are the races. And because they're so vocal, they're easy to spot. Everybody's easy to spot for me. I see you a mile away, good and bad. I see you a mile away, because I'm an accurate judge of character. So when people say don't judge a book by the cover, they're not talking about me. Because the part of the cover I read is all character related. I see you. So my message is not necessarily to vote if you don't want to. But just like I need to know, just like I want to know who is voting for Trump, I also want to know who is not voting at all. And I don't need to know your reason. Because I know it's one of three things, and all three things end up equating to a vote for Trump to me. And congratulations, because you are a wonderful ally to conservatives. If you don't, I can't trust you. It's something else I was gonna fuss about too. Oh, I know what I was gonna fuss about. This bitch at the dentist office. Okay. Now, not necessarily today did I have an issue, but one bitch, I think she doesn't work there anymore. But this other one, see, and this, what I'm about to say is no shade to my dentist. So after I left the dentist office the last time, I think I said this in a video, she scheduled me for my next appointment, election day, and I was like, whoa, what you doing? Okay. It doesn't matter, I early voted. But she scheduled me for election, and I was like, oh, that's election day. So I told her no. Even though I came back and I was like, you know what, I can do it at that time. Because I just wanted her to know that I know you scheduling me on election day, bitch. I noticed that. I see what you did there. And I already don't like her. I don't like her. Because I don't get why I leave the dentist office and y'all, first of all, y'all twist my arm to force me to make the next appointment before I leave there. Like, I'm not allowed to check my motherfucking schedule. But that's cool. I'm not even tripping about that. But it's like 3 months in advance, right? So you forced me to make the appointment before I leave, not knowing what my schedule's gonna be like. I don't know what the call sheet is like. And a lot of times we don't know what the call sheet is going to be like until the day before sometimes. Sometimes the day of. You pretty much on call, right? And it makes it difficult to schedule medical appointments, but so be it. Again, so be it. But I make the appointment and I don't get out of the office and back home before you are sending me a reminder. They act like they're doing you a favor, because I get the concept. Sorry. Privileged people trying to apply pressure from behind. No, because it's important to them to get to where they need to be. So they send you a text message to a reminder before I even get home good. A reminder that I have an appointment 3 months from now. That's not what I need the reminder. A reminder will help me out a week ahead of time, and then maybe again a day or two before the actual appointment. 3 months in advance, we just made the appointment. I remember that I remember the appointment. We just made it. And then they send you one. I get one before I get home. I get one the next day. I get one maybe 2 weeks after that. Don't harass me. I'm doing shit. I have work to do. Don't harass me about that. That's not a reminder. That is harassment. And so I politely expressed that to them before. Well, I take that back. I expressed it to the dentist, because I know he's a different entity than his his staff. And he said, oh, I didn't know that. We'll take a look into it. I didn't expect anything to get done, and I didn't hold it against them. I don't have a problem. But now I'm finna block your damn reminders, because I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna block your reminders, okay? And I'm gonna set my own reminder on my calendar so that it'll pop up for me a couple of days ahead of time. So yeah, for the last few appointments, I've been getting the reminders and you know, ignoring them. So they resorted to calling my home, which is fine, because I don't answer that. I don't answer. And so they'll leave a message and tell me how imperative it is to call them, to tell them that I'll make the appointment. Well, fuck you, because I've had you call me and tell me, guess what, we're gonna need to change your appointment, and I have been extremely accommodating. So I'm not gonna call you back and tell you that I remembered that I have an appointment that you reminded me of before I even left the office good from the last visit 3 months ago. I'm not gonna call you back. I'm just gonna show up and you're gonna see me, because you're not gonna necessarily give me more than 24 hours notice to let me know that you need to reschedule me. It's like a job. It's like corporate, rather. You know, you need to give a 2 weeks notice before you resign. But if you decide to lay me off or fire me, you can do it, and I can be escorted out the same day. Bitch, bye. I was so busy going off on y'all, I forgot to go to GNC.